Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Oh my god. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a great day, because you know what? I have a great video planned for you. Wow, it really has been a while. It's been too long, guys. Today's video is about everyone's favorite music nerd, Anthony Fantano. I don't know, you may have heard of him, you may not have heard of him. That's what he calls himself, right? Everyone's favorite music nerd. More specifically, Anthony Fantano and AJR. If you're a fan of AJR, keep watching. If you're not a fan of AJR, keep watching too. If you like the needle drop, hey, maybe you should keep watching. Basically, to get this puppy started, I just want to say I'm not going to claim to know more about music than Anthony Fantano does, because I don't. Obviously, he's an experienced music reviewer who has been doing this for many years, and I've never made a music review in my life. This is really just my opinion, how I feel. So I'm going to be kind of looking at it sort of like a high school debate. Like, he brought up arguments, and so I'm just going to be simply refuting and rebutting his arguments and his points. I should have started off by saying this is about his Neotheater album review, AJR, which you may be saying was that 2 years old now? What took so long? That's a good question. I never really had the motivation to actually do this or actually make this, but now that OK Orchestra came out like a couple months ago, I was like, you know what, why not? The Anthony Fantano dislike is flowing again, so I'm just gonna write this video, see how it goes. I was gonna make this video kind of about AJR in general and the critiques they get, but I figured I have enough content for one video just covering the AJR Neotheater review by Anthony Fantano that I can just maybe one day do a part 2. So basically, that being said, let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to start off with, one of the first critiques in the video, is basically how he says,
but God is a derivative, uninspired, and coming from just a very odd sentiment.
This is a point he really likes to drive home. Yeah, basically he compares them to 21 Pilots and Jon Bellion.
There's not really an idea on this record that doesn't seem like a blatant ripoff of either 21 Pilots or producer, rapper, songwriter extraordinaire Jon Bellion.
I just think that statement from him is a little bit ignorant, because in my opinion, they're really nothing like 21 Pilots. I don't know, I guess there are some ideas, sort of like wanting to be a kid again, like not wanting to grow up, that 21 Pilots like touches on, but it's definitely not a big part of their music. And like music style wise, like instrumentals and everything, I don't see really any similarities between 21 Pilots and AJR. As for Jon Bellion, I feel like that definitely makes a lot more sense, like music wise. I don't listen to a ton of Jon Bellion, so I wouldn't know like lyrics, but music, I can definitely tell where you could say AJR have inspiration from them, but I think they put their own spin on their music enough to call it more than just a blatant ripoff. Like, I feel like it's okay to be inspired by other musicians and have them influence. Like, that's what music is all about, like, isn't it?
And I'm really glad that you can like recognize that, for sure. I feel like one of the problems in today's music culture is that all anyone wants to do is make comparisons.
And you
for
can't
sure. Yeah. Like going back to the Jon Bellion thing, ever since like I think that human thing, people like to make comparisons, and then they're like, okay, everything about them is the same. Like they stole the sample machine from Jon Bellion. They stole the overture. And it's like, guys, we've been using a sample machine for like maybe 5 years before we even knew who Jon Bellion was. The overture thing, because I know that he did sort of an overture thing. We did the overture on our first album, Living Room, which was 3 years before that came out. So it's kind of just like whoever's biggest at the moment, everyone copied that.
I guess I'm going to preface this next part by saying that AJR are definitely and obviously very inspired by their present lives and like what's going on with their lives like right now in this current moment or in the past like year or so, and that's kind of been like their thing for their past 3 albums. So The Click, Neotheater, and OK Orchestra are all sort of a continuation of each other and like growing up. Those are supposed to be quotes. Growing up, you could say. And maybe at this point it's getting a little bit old, but I'm going to talk about that later. So he says,
it's like mentally and emotionally, I know I'm an adult, but I'm still like living out my youth right now. I'm stuck.
And I just really like, I don't know, it's like, does he know how old they are? Because when Weak was released, one of their most popular songs. Jack was 18, so he was still an adult, but he was still very much a teenager, right? And that doesn't even count the time beforehand that they could have been working on the song. So I feel like he really tries to drive this point that they're like writing about like children issues and teenage issues and children problems and teenage problems, but like they're young, like they're young guys, like they're writing about these issues and these problems, if you can call them problems, because like that's who they are. They're young guys, especially before even the Click, their album Living Room. They were literally in high school when they wrote that, so it has to do with high school things. I feel like that's not such a bad idea to write what is going on in your life, and these are just the things going on in their life, so they're writing about them.
Taking bad things that are happening to you and then trying to write about them from the perspective of a toddler.
Okay, looking back at it now, I know that he is talking about the whole album, but specifically Don't Throw Out My Legos, which I don't really understand, because this is really the only time that they reference something specifically that a child would like, as in Legos, other than Birthday Party, where it's kind of like the whole point of the song. I don't think they're making it in a way to relate to children specifically, like he says, but more as like a metaphor that they want to move out, but they don't want to grow up, because when you move out, you have to get rid of a lot of your old things, because you can't take everything with you, and Legos are one of those things that you might still have from your childhood. And once you let go of those, and it's like, oh fuck, I'm an adult, and being an adult can be scary sometimes. So it's not to relate to children, it just happened to come across that way, which even if it was, or like they were to be writing in that sense, I don't know why he's so upset with them that they would be writing that way. Like, I feel like that's a common thing that I don't get why he's just so upset about some of these things. But I don't really know if I think he's talking about just Birthday Party, not the whole album, because none of the songs are really, on Neotheater at least, about being a child except for Birthday Party. And in that case, that's literally the whole point of the song, which in my opinion, I think is an interesting concept. Like, if you don't know the song, it's about a baby, I guess, singing the song, or it's if a baby could put into words a song for like just being born, and about being like naive and not knowing all the messed up stuff that's going on in the world. Yeah, like I think that's an interesting concept and something that like no one's really done before. Basically all the other songs are about like your teenage to college years, like moving out or getting drunk at a party, which they are that age, so it makes sense, like I said, for them to be writing songs about that kind of stuff. Once again, he mentions them being a less edgy 21 Pilots. He says things like,
they're so stereotypically millennial, with big horns and bright group vocals and hip-hop beats and faux dramatic instrumentation.
Which some songs, like he mentions the Entertainments here, like that's a little more like mellow as opposed to their other songs. Like, I could understand seeing if it was those things by themselves and they just had boring songs, like just focus on each one of those things. But like, I feel like that's not their music and that's not what they are. I feel like they combine those things in a way that no one has like seen before, or heard rather. And obviously many people agree with me. I feel like it's almost kind of hypocritical for him to say these things, like they're just copying other millennial pop. They're just a crappy with 21 Pilots. They've never done an original idea in their lives. But then he goes and criticizes them for all the new and creative things they do, like sampling a song from Eraserhead, and be like, why the fuck would they do that? He says basically like he doesn't know what could have inspired them to put that in the song.
Suddenly in the second leg of the cut Birthday Party on here, AJR just kind of breaks into it, and I'm disgusted. I don't get how the works of David Lynch could possibly speak to your soul and then you would make an album like this. Unless you're to watch a movie like Eraserhead and just think, whoa, this is a pretty cool, crazy movie.
Which I get, it doesn't make the most sense, but like, who cares? Like, it's a song. They heard that song in the movie and they thought it was cool, so they put it in their song. Like, I don't know what's so wrong about that. He goes on to criticize Dear Winter for a few things, but the thing that like pisses me off the most is the fact that he's like actually mad that Ryan would ever consider having a name for his future kid, and that it's like fucking ridiculous that he would write a song with the name without consulting his future partner first.
The most unlikable thing about the song, though, is that you have chosen the name of your kid before you've even met your significant other. Like, naming your kid isn't going to be a collaborative process with that person.
Like, dude, it's really not that deep. Ryan likes this name for this kid, and they needed a name for the song, so they used Winter, which was the name that he liked. There's nothing wrong with him liking a name of his future kid. He even goes as far to say that maybe Ryan is single because of the fact that he's so sure like what he wants to name his kid.
Assuming that both of you are just going to arrive at that name because you had just already chosen it or imagined it beforehand is it's maybe the reason you're having a hard time finding someone.
And like that's like he's the type of person to do that, and so like that's why he's single. And that just like come on, like you can criticize these dudes' music, but to go like that deep into it, I feel like is kind of messed up. He talks about the song Beats. He says,
and at this very early point, you're going to essentially present them with this image of no artistic integrity, no personal integrity. Me and everything I make is just a billboard for you to throw your products on top of.
It's actually kind of about like debating, is it worth it to sell out now? Because if you don't sell out now, then maybe down the line you won't be famous anymore and you would have like missed your chance to like have these opportunities. I feel like he digs too deep into the point that they're just saying, we'll be sponsored by anybody, because that's not really what they're saying. And even if they were, there's really not a whole lot wrong with that, because that's like every musician and every content creator and everyone everywhere who has a name to them gets sponsorship deals, and it's not that big of a deal. Like there's more to it than just them saying we're sponsored by Beats headphones and you should buy Beats headphones, which is actually kind of funny because Apple owns Beats, and they actually earlier this year or late last year had Bang in an Apple commercial, so it's kind of come full circle. But anyway, honestly, if he doesn't like that song, I'm fine with it, because when the album came out, I didn't really like Beats that much either. So I guess that's really all for the bulk of it for like his review of the album. I just had a few more things that I wanted to say. He does do an OK Orchestra review. Those are quotes again. But like the whole thing is just like sarcasm, so I'm just not really gonna like go through it at all. I just feel like it's kind of like an asshole move to like put out a review for an album that people obviously want, but like it's just like a joke video, which like obviously it's his channel. It's April Fool's Day. It was just a joke. He can do whatever he wants to. This is my channel. I'm putting this video out. I'm sure people are going to be upset with this video, but I can do whatever I want because it's my channel. But I just feel like he knows it would get views, and so that's one of the driving factors for him doing it. Not to like downplay the success of his channel at all and say that he like needs to rely on AJR to get views, because he doesn't. I'm just saying that he knew what he was doing when he posted the video. When it comes down to it, I really don't care what he thinks. Obviously, it may not seem like it, but I just know that I like their music, and that's really all that matters. And one other thing I thought about when I was making this is that if you really think about it, music reviewers like aren't even really needed nowadays. Like usually songs are like 3 to 4 minutes long, right? So like just listen to the song yourself and make your own opinion about it. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about it. Like seriously, tell me the last time you sat down to watch a needle drop video and it wasn't to see if a song was actually good or bad, but if he liked or hated a song that you liked or hated. Sorry, can I get my words twisted around here? I meant to say, tell me the last time you sat down to watch an Anthony Fantano video and it was to see if a song was good or bad, not just to see if he liked or disliked the song. And who knows, I could just be speaking on my ass here. Maybe there are tons of people who actually watch him to see if a song is good or bad. I just feel like a lot of people are just like fanboys and want to see if he likes a song or dislikes a song for the sake of it being him, so they can know what to like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I feel like the majority of people either watch it and be like, yeah, fuck that song, Anthony. Yeah, I hate that song. You know, me and you, Anthony, we pretty much have the same music tastes. So, like, I don't know, we should be best friends because of how similar our music tastes are. Like, we both hate this song. Like, isn't that, like, crazy? And then there are the people like me who like AJR and have heard of the needle drop and be like, oh, I wonder what he thinks of my favorite band's music. And then I'd be like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. In the end, I really just think music is subjective. Obviously, I don't just think that, everyone thinks that, and it can be anything you want it to be. So as long as there are people out there listening to it and people enjoying it, it really doesn't matter what people like Anthony Fantano or anyone else on the internet has to say, because obviously AJR has fans. They're doing quite well for themselves. So in this case, it's just one of those things where the negative voices are louder than the positive voices for the most part. So I feel like every so often there's a band that people just choose to hate. First it was Nickelback, then it was Imagine Dragons. Now I feel like it's starting to be AJR. But in this case, I've seen a lot of TikToks or just YouTube videos in general where it's people like shitting on AJR, but then there's actually a surprising amount of like comments and people like defending them, which I feel like is a little bit different from like the Nickelback and Imagine Dragons hate. I'm sure there were a couple people defending them, but for the most part it's everyone being like, yeah, these guys suck. But in this case, it's a lot of people rather being like, you know, their music actually isn't that bad. What the fuck are you guys on about? Yeah, so like I was saying, there's millions of people who listen to their music and who enjoy it. So for me personally, their albums have like lined up perfectly with like my life. Like I was getting out of high school when The Click came out. I was moving out of my house when Neotheater came out, and OK Orchestra just came out, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. That's been a common theme for all the albums. But yeah, so it's like I feel like I relate to their music, I like their music, and there are many other people who do, if I haven't said that enough already. Yeah, I guess that's basically all I had written down on my phone. If you couldn't tell, I'm sure you could. I was reading from my phone this entire time, the notes I had written down. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you like AJR. Let me know if you hate AJR. Let me know if there's some points I missed on either side. Give me a good reason that you don't like them. Maybe I'll try to fucking, in my next video, rebuttal that point. So go ham in the comments. Don't be mean to me, please. This is just my opinion. I can't take it. No, it's fine. Be mean to me if you want to. I don't know why this outro is still going. Basically, as I'm saying, I just want to say, Anthony Fantano, you seem like a cool dude. You seem like a bit of an asshole sometimes, but I feel like you're aware of that, and most of your fans are aware of that. But I got respect for you. This was just my opinion. This is just a video I wanted to make. I like AJR. Once again, leave your opinions in the comments, and have a great day. Bye.